Hello everyone, I hope that you all are fit and fine, and let me tell you that I am completely fine as well. In the previous video we had discussed the concept of year, that is what is financial year, what is previous year and what is assessment year. We also discussed two special topics, and that is undisclosed sources of income, and we also saw what are the five cases where the income of the previous year is taxed in the previous year itself. That is the cases where previous year equal to assessment year. Now, let us come back to the section of levy. Section 4 of the Income Tax Act 1961 speaks about levy. What is levy? Applicability. Income tax is applicable on the total income of previous year of every person. We saw the income concept, we saw the year concept. Now let us jump to the person concept. It is very important to know who and all are covered in the definition of person, because only if someone is covered in the definition of person, they should pay income tax. If not, they need not pay any income tax. Hence, let us see who and all are covered in definition of person. But before that, we should know the meaning of two terms, and that is assessment and assessee. Firstly, let us start with assessment. Section 2 Clause 8 of the Income Tax Act 1961 defines the word assessment, and it means the procedure of determining the income by the assessing officer. So when the assessing officer comes and he determines or calculates the income of the assessee. Who is assessee? I told you assessee is taxpayer, correct? So when assessing officer comes and calculates the income of the assessee, then it is called assessment. Okay, assessment is done in the assessment year. Income is earned in the previous year. Are you able to link with the year concept? Okay, so assessment is done in which year? Assessment year. Now assessment can be of two types. It can be normal assessment or reassessment. Normal assessment means what? When the assessing officer does the assessment for the first time, it is called normal assessment. Then what is reassessment? As the word suggests, when assessment has already been done, when the assessing officer comes once again and starts reassessing the income, it is called reassessment. Now you need not worry, because reassessment is covered in CA final level, so it is not applicable to you. Okay, there are many examples of reassessment like income escaping assessment, search, seizure, etc., etc. It all will be discussed in final level. Even normal assessment concepts, most of them are discussed in final level, but in inter, only one concept in normal assessment is covered, and that is self assessment. What is self assessment? The word itself has the meaning in it. Self assessment means when the assessee himself comes and tells that this is my income and this is my tax. This is called self assessment, where the assessee himself calculates and determines his income and tax payable. It is called self assessment. Okay, self assessment is also a part of normal assessment, and this self assessment we are going to learn in the last chapter. Fine, that is the return of income chapter. Now let us see the next definition, and that is assessee definition as per section 2 clause 7 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Already what did I tell you? Assessee means taxpayer. However, the definition is even more detailed. Now let us properly understand what is the meaning of assessee. Okay, first and foremost, who is an assessee? Assessee is a person by whom any tax or other sum is payable. So a person by whom a tax is payable is called assessee. Now what is this other sum? Other sum can be any other amount that is payable as per the Income Tax Act. Any other amount includes interest, okay, it includes fees, it includes penalty, etc., etc. And all these terms, as and when we progress in the course, we are going to know about the meaning of all these terms. But for now, you know that if any amount is payable by a person as per the income tax law, then that person is called assessee. Okay, next, whom and all else are covered in the definition of assessee? Let us see. Proceeding is against initiated for the assessment of. Proceeding is initiated for the assessment of his income. For example, okay, I am telling the income tax department that I do not have any income at all. But the income tax officer or the assessing officer feels that I am having a income. Hence he wants to find out. So what he will do? he will start a proceeding against me. Proceeding means what? Action. He will start action against me. Okay. Action can be by assessing officer. So he will start an action against me to determine my income. So when he starts a proceeding against me, I will automatically become an assessee. Okay. I will automatically become an assessee. Hence, when the assessing officer comes and takes an action on any person, that person will become assessee. So on his income. Next, proceeding is initiated for the assessment of income of other person in respect of whom he is taxable. Sometimes what happens is, it might not be necessary that only I am responsible for my own income. I can be responsible for some other person's income as well. For example, in the next page, when you see, there is a meaning of individual. In individual, you can see for a minor, the assessment is done on the guardian. Okay, for a minor, the assessment is done on the guardian. Since the minor's age is less than 18 years, income tax department will not go after a minor. Income tax department will go after the guardian of the minor. In such case, the guardian will automatically become an assessee. You get my point? Hence, if assessing officer wants to take an action on the minor, then he will start an action against the guardian. In such case, the guardian will become an assessee. You get my point? Next, proceeding initiated for the assessment of his loss or such other person's loss. Sometimes I might not disclose my income. Sometimes I can also overstate my loss. Okay, if I do not disclose my income, income tax department will come after me. Next case is what? If I overstate my loss, in such case also income tax department will come after me. Overstating loss means what? For example, loss of 2 lakhs is shown as 10 lakhs. For example, my actual loss is only 2 lakhs, but I am telling the department that my loss is 10 lakhs. Now, assessing officer will obviously feel suspicious and he will start a proceeding against me. In such case, I will automatically become an assessee. Okay, and for such other person also. So, even for example, if I am having a son, in reality, I am not having a son, but let us just imagine that I am having a son. Okay, and that son is showing a loss. Now department can't go after my son because he would be 18 years or less, okay, of age, and that is why they will come after me. Less than 18 years of age, that is why they'll come after me. In such case, I will become an assessee. Next, his refund or such other person's refund. Now Kanna, when I was discussing the steps to calculate total income, I told you that at the end of the calculation, income tax can be payable also or refundable also. Now, if I am telling the department that my refund should be 1 lakh rupees, but in reality my refund only should be 30,000 rupees. I am telling the department that my refund should be 1 lakh rupees. In such case, since I am overstating my refund, the income tax officer will come and start a proceeding against me. In such case, I will become an assessee automatically. Okay. Next, whom and all else are covered in the definition of assessee. Number 3 is deemed assessee. Deemed assessee means what? Deeming means what? Let us know. Deemed. Deemed word will be used in multiple places in your income tax law, and now itself you know the meaning really clearly. Deemed means income tax law will create a fiction. Income tax law will create a fiction means it will imagine that you are the assessee. It will imagine that you are the assessee, or it will assume that you are the assessee. In such case, you cannot do anything. You are automatically will be considered assessee. Okay. So if the law tells that you are an assessee, then you are an assessee. Okay. Matter over. So deemed assessee means an assessee who is considered an assessee as per the income tax law. He might not be covered in the definition that we discussed now, but if income tax act tells that he is an assessee, then he will automatically be considered an assessee. Similarly, number 4, deemed assessee in default. Assessee in default means what? Default word itself is used for some person who has done something wrong. Who has done something wrong. So if any person is an assessee in default, then obviously he will also become an assessee. Assessee in default means what? Assessee in default means an assessee who has done something wrong. If a person has done something wrong, and if the Income Tax Act is calling him an assessee in default, then automatically he will also be considered as assessee. You get my point? As and when we progress, you will get even more clear with the concept. I hope, but you are able to understand it exactly right now also. Who and all are covered in the definition of assessee? Once again, let us see. Very, very important. Number one, any person by whom any tax or any other amount is payable as per the income tax law will be called an assessee. Number two, if the assessing officer has initiated the proceedings for the assessment on any person for his income or for the income of any other person for whom he is responsible, or his loss or such other person's loss, or his refund or such other person's refund. In such case, he will be called an assessee. Next, deemed assessee will be called an assessee. Deemed assessee in default will be called an assessee. Okay. Hence, all these type of people are covered in the definition of assessee. Fine. Next, now let us come to the definition of person. Very, very important definition. Section 2, clause 31 of the Income Tax Act 1961 defines person, and person includes seven items. Seven items. Number 1, individual. Number 2, Hindu undivided family or HUF. Number 3, firm including LLP. It means partnership firm and limited liability partnership. Then number 4, company. Number 5, AOP-BOI. AOP-BOI means association of person and body of individuals. We will see the meaning later on. Then local authority, and then artificial juridical person, or you may call it AJP. Okay, artificial juridical person. So there are 7 items included in the definition of person. Hence, that is why I told you before itself that person does not only mean individual, it is a very wider definition where so many other type of bodies are also included in the definition of person. Why are so many type of bodies included? Because only if someone is included in the definition of person, then only they have to pay any income tax. Okay, so it is very, very important to include as many people as possible. Fine. Now let us come to the first type of person, and that is individual. Individual only we can understand in the most easiest manner. It means natural people. Human beings are individuals. So every single human being is considered a person. No one can escape. Okay. However, if an individual is a minor, then I already told you the assessment will be done on whom? Assessment will be done on guardian. Fine. Next, if an individual is of unsound mind. Unsound mind means what? Lunatic. Lunatic. Or a person who is mentally unstable. Mentally unstable means what? The person is not stable enough to take any wise or sound decisions. Hence, the person will be called unsound mind. If a person is of unsound mind, then the assessment of such person will be done on their manager. Okay, the person who are managing them. Next, if a person is deceased. Deceased means what? They have expired or died. If a person has died, then also Income Tax Act will not leave them. The assessment of their income will be done on their legal representative. Okay, assessment will be done on legal representative. So this was the meaning of individual, and 3 cases where assessment of an individual is done in some other person's hands. Okay, next let us come to HUF. What is the full form of HUF, Kanna? Full form of HUF is Hindu undivided family. Hindu undivided family. So Hindu undivided family also is a type of person, but you know what is strange? That the definition of Hindu undivided family is not there in the Income Tax Act itself. Then how can we know the meaning of Hindu undivided family? We have to know the meaning as per the Hindu law. As per the Hindu law, Hindu undivided family means all males lineally descended, all males lineally descended from common ancestors, including wife and daughter. Okay, all the males lineally descended from a common ancestor including wife and daughter. So for example, if a person is there, okay, he is having children, okay, then they are his lineal descendants. Lineal descendant. In such case, all the three of them will can form a HUF. All the three of them can form a HUF. However, only certain religions, the people who follow certain religions can form HUF because Hindu law only covers certain religions. What are they? Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. So Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and Sikhs can form a Hindu undivided family, but the people who are following other religions cannot form Hindu undivided family. For example, Muslims or Christians cannot form a Hindu undivided family because they are not covered under the Hindu law. Fine. Okay. Now let us see who and all are the parts of HUF. Who and all are the parts of HUF? Number one, Karta. The head of the Hindu undivided family will be called Karta. The head of the Hindu undivided family is called Karta. Karta is the person who manages the Hindu undivided family because he will be the head of the family. Next, member and co-partners. Members means whom? All the members of the Hindu undivided family will be called members. Okay. Then who are co-partners? Co-partners are the members of the Hindu undivided family who are also having the right to partition or right to property of the family. They are having the right in the property of the family. Then what about members? Do members do not have any rights? Answer is no. Members will not have any right to the property, okay, family property. However, they are having the right of expenses. Expenses of the family. Expenses means what? For the family, for example, the family incurs expenses like food, okay, for their day-to-day life, or clothes, etc. So the members can take the benefit of the expenses of the Hindu undivided family. However, only the co-partners will have the right to the property. Fine. Earlier, daughters could not be co-partners in a Hindu undivided family, only the son could be co-partner. However, from 6th of September 2005, daughters can also be co-partners in the Hindu undivided family. However, wife and daughter-in-law cannot be co-partners. Daughter can be co-partner, but wife and daughter-in-law will not be co-partners. Why will they not be co-partners? Because they will be co-partners in their father's property. Since they will be co-partner in father property, they will not be co-partner in husband property, husband or father-in-law property. You get my point? Now let's come to school of Hindu law. So there are two types of HUFs, Hindu undivided family. One type is the type who are following the Dayabhaga school of Hindu law, and the second type is the type who are following the Mitakshara school of Hindu law. All this I think we have already studied when in class 12 we are revising all these concepts. So Dayabhaga school of Hindu law is actually more prevalent in West Bengal and Assam. So mostly the Hindu undivided families living in West Bengal and Assam follow the Dayabhaga school of thought, and in the remaining part of India they follow Mitakshara school of Hindu law. In Dayabhaga school, there is no right in the family property till the head of the family dies. Till the head of the family dies. So only when the head of the family dies, the next generation will get the right in the family property. Till then they will not be having rights. That is why only the father and his brothers will be the co-partners. Okay. And only when the father dies, his sons or daughters will be having the right in the family property. Till the father is not till the father is alive, the father only will be having the right to the family property. You get my point? However, in Mitakshara school of Hindu law, right is by birth and not by succession. That is why even the children will become co-partners. Even the children will be co-partners. Co-partners. So even when the father is alive, still the children will be having the right in the family property. But in Dayabhaga school of law, only when the father expires, their children will be his children will be having the right in the property. You get my point? Okay, so that was about Hindu law. Now let me also share some fun facts. This is not there in your syllabus, but still let me just tell certain points. So what will happen if co-parsoner converts religion? If co-parsoner converts then religion, then he will be considered out of HUF. He will not be the part of HUF anymore because the HUF itself depends on the religion. Okay, next. One more fun fact, one HUF can contain another HUF. One HUF can include another HUF. So for example, father has two sons. Okay. Now two sons get married, father and mother. Okay. Now two sons get married and now they are having children. Fine. Father and mother are having two sons. Now both the sons get married and now they are also having children. Now this father, this entire family can be called a HUF. Okay. Now this family can be called another HUF and this family can be called another HUF. That is why I told one HUF can include another HUF as well. You get my point? I hope you are clear. Now let us come to the next definition, that is the definition of firm. Let us come to the definition of firm. Section 2 clause 23 contains the definition of firm, okay, and it just tells that firm includes LLP. Firm includes LLP and a minor will be considered a partner if the minor is admitted for the benefits of the partnership firm. Only this much is given in the definition of partnership firm. The full meaning is not given in the Income Tax Act. So where should we go for the full meaning? Answer is obvious that for a definition of partnership firm, we will refer the Partnership Act 1932, and for definition of limited liability partnership, LLP means what? Limited liability partnership. For definition of LLP, we will refer the Limited Liability Partnership Act of 2008. So Income Tax Act does not contain the meaning of firm. It only tells that firm includes a limited liability partnership and a minor will be considered a partner if the minor is admitted only for the profits of the partnership firm or the benefits of the partnership firm. So this was the definition of firm as per the Income Tax Act, and we have now we have covered three type of persons. The remaining type of persons we will cover in the next video. So see you in the next one, dear. Till then, take care. Bye bye.